Better late than never. Welcome back to the MVM Show. Today I got a couple things I want to talk to you guys about. I think that will be one thing will be beneficial for you. The second thing will be just updating you and informing you of something cool going on. In fact, a couple people have messaged me and asked questions about it, and I didn't even realize that several months ago I had talked about this. But before we get started in this, I want to let you guys know and remind you about the Muller Chokes discount that is only offered here. I really don't know how long that will last. I don't know how long that will be something kind of specific to us. But anyways, now that being said, Muller Chokes does offer things throughout the season, like for sales, free shipping, 10% off, that kind of thing. But here at the MVM Show and Mid-Valley Mercenaries, we offer 10% off. If at checkout you want to get this choke, you want to get a choke wrench and all that good stuff, you can put in the code MVM 2024 and get 10% off on your order. And guys, to me, in my opinion, you'll be so satisfied with this choke. I would say, I feel like maybe there is a one or two off, but I would say 95%, 99% are happy, and you don't hear nothing. I've got so many good reports from you guys too, through Instagram, Facebook messages, YouTube comments, emails, that you guys are just absolutely love the pattern. Those of you that have got out to pattern it, some of you probably won't pattern, but you'll see what it does throughout the season, what it looks like when it hits the water, if you got a cripple in the water. So there's so many good things. But anyways, today for this episode, I'm trying to figure out what I want to start with first. I guess I'll just start with the duck stamp, the federal duck E-stamp. Okay. If you guys are at all into the know and you read Delta Waterfowl, you read Ducks Unlimited magazines, you read all the other things that are out there that we all get sent to our house. And by the way, isn't it kind of crazy? Like magazines are almost starting to slowly become a thing of the past. I mean, I like them. I'd rather have a magazine than go read online personally. But I'm sure with the way technology is, that sooner or later it won't even happen anymore. I hope not. I really hope not. I hope we keep magazines. I hope that's never a thing of the past. But the way things are going, it's still there. You know what's crazy? It's crazy that newspapers are still going around. You know what I mean? I just wonder how long before those are non-existent. I mean, I still see the little vending things that you put the quarter in or 50 cents. I don't even know what it costs now. Open it up and get USA Today or your local newspaper. But anyways, it's just, I don't know. I love reading. I love a magazine. I love just looking through it, and it's one of those things like you look at them year round, but like during duck season, it's kind of cool. Or when it's getting close, it's pretty awesome because you're like, okay, it's here, and it's just like you're looking through the pictures and you're seeing the stuff, the new stuff for the season, all that stuff, good stuff. But anyways, that being said, if you do get magazines, you do read online, you are on social media, you hear the hubbub, which with what little there is, I feel like it's not as published as I thought it would be, honestly. But the federal duck E-stamp, it feels weird saying that. I keep wanting to say federal duck stamp, but it's federal duck E-stamp. So you can do both. I already have mine. And actually, Brad Jones with the CWA, brother, thank you for the stamp. I appreciate that, and I really do. We were able to help donate some money with Brett Crow and our efforts, and then also their Upper Deck with Dave Corley. All those efforts was able to sell a set of JG Lair's custom calls that a few of us have here at Mid-Valley Mercenaries, and then we call it the Mountain Dew call. And Brett Crow made it specifically for us. I believe there was only, I think I think there was 6 sets. Now I'm wondering if it was 5, but I think it was 6 sets. And a few of us here at Mid-Valley Mercenaries that blow Lairs calls got those for ourselves. Oh man, it's a gorgeous call. My goodness. It's just that translucent kind of Mountain Dew color, honestly, that yellowish color, and then the bottom's that really nice, I would say like a glittery green, kind of somewhat darker than this lamp right here, the darker part of it. I've always loved those. There's a few of those I've seen that have a gold band that are just that green color. It's like a lighter green. So it's like a mix with that and then a custom band that has like that orangish, reddish color that's in a Mountain Dew can in the name Mountain Dew. And oh my goodness, it's a beautiful call. But it sold for over $2,000, that set. And we donated that money to the California waterfowl. So I guess I've never said that on here. If I have, I don't remember it. But that was pretty awesome. I want to say it sold for $2,100, that set. It was a hybrid and a T1, large bore, or regular bore, I should say. And so all the proceeds of that, thanks to Dave Corley, Brett Crow, and then ourselves, we just sent a check right off to CWA. So I did want to say, Brad Jones, CWA, thanks, brother, for that stamp. Appreciate that. We're more than happy to support, and I definitely want to do more things to support California Waterfowl Association. And guys, if you're not a member, really, you should really think about it, because there is benefits to it if you're looking for something that could benefit you. But really, the bigger picture is the support that it puts into our state. If you are a California waterfowl hunter, it is huge, and all the efforts that they do and the things they do is so much work. I mean, working on refuges and habitat management, all these things. It's awesome too. And Delta waterfowl is the same, but Delta waterfowl is more spread out over the country and Canada. But please, if you can, support them. Actually, let me backtrack on the Delta waterfowl. I can't remember for sure. I know, it is Canada, because I was going to say, I can't remember. I don't want to misquote that. I believe Delta waterfowl is Canada and United States, but don't quote me on that. I know Ducks Unlimited is a lot bigger than that even. So, but anyways, let's move on. So that being said, so you got the physical stamp that's been that way for years. I don't even know how long, but you get your stamp. You can go down to the post office. If you guys are new duck hunters, listen to this. Just kind of walk you through this process, okay? But if you're a new duck hunter and you don't know what you're supposed to do, every state's got a little bit of different steps. But I will tell you, there is one thing common in all states, and that is the federal duck stamp. Okay, the actual physical duck stamp. It's $25, and you can go in there to the post office, or Big Five, probably like Academy, just any of these type of hunting, Sportsman's Warehouse, Cabela's, Bass Pro, any of those things should be able to get your federal duck stamp. A lot of times, if you wait too close to season, like post office or a certain place like Big Five sells out all the time. I don't know if they're just given a allotted amount and then they sell out and they don't get no more or what, but I would say a small post office that not a lot of people go to is like a place you can go and always find them, because they'll get their allotment, and I feel like they just don't never really sell out. Some people buy them just to support ducks and waterfowl. They'll buy 3 or 4. I know people that do that every single year. I always get, in California, I don't know if this is like this everywhere, but when you click on it online you can't buy your federal, hear me out here. I know I'm trying to explain something before I go into the e-stamp part of it, but online in the California Department of Fish and Game, you cannot buy a federal duck stamp. Okay, let me explain myself. So you do the HIP, you do the state stamp, you do your license. If you want to get, you want to put in for your resis, you can also. What am I missing here? I think I said everything. Oh, and then you like your season pass, but that you don't have to do that. That's something you can do. You can buy them 1-day pass, 2-day pass, or a season pass. I always get a season pass, but every year I'm like, man, I don't know if I need this, but you got to go basically like 10, 11 times to pay itself back. So anyways, you can click on the state and the federal stamp at the bottom. It doesn't cost you anything. And they'll send it to you. Hold on a second. What am I getting mixed up here? I hate when I do this because I think what it is when you talk about stuff for so long, when I know there's people listening, then I start questioning myself like, hold on, I don't want to give false information. Let me look in my file cabinet here. I know people that are like, dude, it's this. You guys know I do this, so just deal with it. Because I do this. I start second guessing myself. Okay, for instance, I got right here. I saved them all. I got them all the way back to 2014. That's kind of sad. Thought it would have been hunting a lot longer than that. But I guess that's just kind of when I decided to start collecting them. Yeah. Excuse me. All the way back to 2014. Let's pull it open here. I think I know what I'm saying here, but I'm just double checking, make sure I ain't saying something wrong. I was kind of saying something wrong. Okay. That's what I thought, because I'm like, okay, wait a minute. You're paying for your federal. You can't buy it online, so why would they send you a free one the next year? So I'm glad I looked, because that's what was throwing my brain off there. There is a state stamp for ducks. So there's a California duck stamp, which is what you pay for. Like, let's see here. What year was this? 2023. It was 37. Hold on, let me pull it out here. It's 37.29, which went way up. It was lower than that. It went up quite a bit, and I can tell you that too. I'm kind of getting into this now. So let me look at 2023's was, I thought it was like 25 something. No, it was high there too. Okay. Yeah, it was 34.56. So it went up again a little bit. And then one of these years, maybe it was last year that it went up. I thought it was maybe it was 2 years ago. I thought it was. Okay, yeah, see. I guess it was, what year is this? 2022. Man, boy, time sure flies, doesn't it? Isn't it crazy? So if you're listening on audio, you're like, what is the noises you're making? It's because I'm over in the file cabinet. But so just for reference, let me show you this. Okay, so when you go online, California Department of Fish and Game, you cannot buy a federal stamp online. Okay, hold on a second. Don't jump ahead of me. Normally, it's been that way for years. You could buy your California duck stamp or your state stamp, and you could buy your upland game bird stamp. Okay, that's what it is. So you click on those, you buy them, you've paid for them, and then at the bottom it lets you click on those two if you want the physical stamp. And they usually don't send you those till the next year. So at just randomly, a month or so or two before season, boom, you'll get a deal from California State Department of Fish and Wildlife in the mail, and you'll open it up and you'll have your state upland game bird and your California duck stamp, your state. So because you paid for it, so they give you the physical stamp in it. I guess I could show you if you're watching on the channel, they'll send it into a nice little kind of protected package, and I just put it back in my file cabinet, put the year on it, and then close it back. So now let's jump ahead to the price change, and that was just to go for more efforts to help waterfowl out in get this organized here. I think it was 2021. It was a California duck stamp, which was actually a gadwall. It's pretty cool. I'm actually don't pull these out, but it's actually a Drake and hen gadwall, stud gadwall. It was $23.25. Okay, then in 2022-23, it jumped a lot to $34, so it went up $12. And it's been in 23 whatever in that low 20 range for years. So they did a big jump for conservation efforts and habitat and all that stuff. The 2022-2023 state California duck stamp was $34.56, and it was honkers in that one. And then last year's was scop. So it wasn't. Let me pull it out because it is kind of blurry looking through this. Oh, never mind, it was a ring neck. Yeah. It was a Drake and hen ring neck. So anyways, so that was a long way to go around like I usually do. But man, once I started digging into it, I was like, I got to find the details out. I don't want to mess this up. I want to know. You just do something for so long, you kind of forget the details of it. So let's go now. So what I do want to go into, and I'm putting these stamps back, sorry. The state upland is 1054, and that was in 2021. Let's see what it was last year. That one jumped up a lot too. That went to $21. That was actually chucker. But so the new thing that I did want to talk about, had to get all that stuff out of the way first before we started talking about what's going on now. That past end of last year, actually. Take a little sip of coffee there. You can buy your federal stamp online. Now, for you California waterfowlers, you cannot do it through California Department of Fish and Wildlife. They do not have it on there yet. So my first thoughts were, we're not allowed to do that here in California. So, that being said, I reached out to Brad from CWA, and I said, hey, man, is this something we're allowed to do? Because it's a federal thing, so it should be good for California, but there's nowhere on a California site, California Department of Fish and Wildlife, that I can do it. He said, yes, you can do it. I did hear it on a California Waterfowl podcast, and he gave me the episode, and I went and listened to it, and it was actually 2 game wardens on there. I'll tell you, if you're interested, I'll just tell you what that was. If you haven't heard of that podcast, there's some good stuff on there. I haven't really listened to it a ton, but it was episode 41, and I believe it's Save It for the Blind podcast. So I believe it was episode 41, and those 2 game wardens are on there, and it was really good. It was interesting, good podcast, and that's the one that the game wardens are talking about. That they don't really talk too detailed. Maybe I could have them on mine or something and talk a little bit more details about it. But there is approved sites that you can buy your federal duck e-stamp. And if you Google in federal duck e-stamp, buy federal duck e-stamp, it will pull up, I can't remember the name of that site, but that site tells you where you can buy those stamps. And it gives the list of approved states that sell those stamps. So I'm sure our website's going to be doing that pretty soon, but they just don't right now. So that being said, I thought, well, man, I guess I can't do it. Yes, you can. It doesn't matter what state you buy that from. It's a federal stamp, right? So basically what I did is I went on there, and I don't know why I did Nebraska, but because I've hunted there. So I have like a Nebraska account, Washington account, Idaho account, New Mexico account, Kansas account, I think even Missouri account. Like I've got stuff all over the globe. But I have all those because I've hunted all those, whether it wasn't just ducks, it was like big game or whitetail or something like that. So I just have these, I don't know, I just picked Nebraska. I went on there, and I bought it. And what they do is once you do, they give you a receipt, or basically it's like a stamp. And I'm going to pull it up here. So on that stamp, where did I put that? Because I saved this I'm going to test something out this year. So, man, I guess I could just make this the podcast because this is good information. So I'm not going to show it to you guys on here, but I'm just going to tell you about it and what it looks like. It says stamp right on it. It fills up your screen basically, and it says stamp receipt. And that's the way it's going to be because, I mean, that's the way Nebraska's looks. I don't know how the other states made theirs look, but it says right on it, federal duck stamp. And it's a picture. I got a picture of the receipt of it, okay? It actually costs $32, so they're more. And I think I've heard each state's kind of different, but then I had an issue fee, and that was $3. So my total ended up being $35. But what's interesting about this, and they were talking about, I think they brought it up in that podcast, is it's got all of my information. It's got a, oh man, I can't remember what those things are called. Not the barcode. It's the newer version where you can scan it. So it has that on there, and I believe that's associated to me. And it also has a permit number. So like a regular federal duck stamp, it doesn't have any of that. There is a little number on the top left-hand side, but it's like 5 digits or whatever. I put those things right here, I'll tell you. Actually, I mean, I don't even know if you guys ever paid attention to this too, but yeah, it's actually 6 digits. This isn't the same. So there's no barcode. There's nothing basically to scan on these. They don't need to because it's a physical stamp, right? So on ours, California, a lot of times they like you to put it on it. You don't have to, and they don't even tell you to. But the problem is with the stamp, you're going to lose it to me. I don't know. I'm curious to see if you guys want to comment how you keep your federal duck stamps. If you guys I don't know if you guys put it in a little case or a little Ziploc bag, or if you do, I've seen someone put it on their phone case. It doesn't matter, but you do have to sign it. So that's something you always have to do is sign it. And you got to have your signature across it because they don't, basically the reason was back in the day you could trade these federal duck stamps around, and I'm sure people still do that today as long as they're not signed it. And who's going to know if that's your signature or not, right? Because mine's basically not even legible. I think I remember hearing them say something about, and it's got to be legible. It's like, dude, mine's never been legible. I don't think it looked legible since I was 12. So decided to sign stuff like a doctor. When you sign enough documents, you don't even care what your signature looks like. But anyways, so it's got that they could scan, and then it's got the permit number, and it's like a letter, and then about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think 10 digits. Yeah, 10 digits on there. And that's your permit number. So that's how they could look it up. That's what I was told. That's what it said on the podcast. Am I still going to have everything physically? Yes, I do. Because now in California, and I know other states have been doing this way longer than California did, but I've got everything on my phone. I got the app, but I've also got screenshots of my barcode and my hunting license, my upland game bird validation, my California duck validation, my HIP, and my Type A wildlife season pass, and my federal duck stamp. So technically, if everything's true that they're saying, because I know at all these refuges too, they scan everything. Everything's scanned now, so they don't need a physical copy technically. But part of my old school mentality and way is to think oh, I got to have it with me. I just know there's going to be some refuge manager or some refuge worker that's that ain't going to work. You got to have your physical one, and I'm not going to be happy. So I don't know how many years of seasons it's going to take before I feel comfortable not having a physical one on me, which I did hear some things about. You still have to have it on your person, which this is on my person. So I would like to get some clarification. I really need a federal game warden to come on here, not a state. But, I mean, it makes sense, but it's come on, guys. We're in the new technology. I mean, I know there's a lot of scamming and stuff, but I would say hunters more than anybody's not going to be the guys doing that. I mean, there is some shady dudes, right? But it's a barcode. It's got to be. It's pulled up to your account. If you didn't buy it, you didn't buy it. I don't know. I feel like you could scam anything, I guess, but it seems like a lot of effort to me, anyways. But yeah. I'm going to do it. I'm the first refuge I go to. I'm going to have my physical federal duck stamp. I'm going to have and by the way, like I said, I put mine on my stamp, and then I put it in a fishing license holder. The little small ones, I fold it up in there. I've done that for years because they're waterproof. Fold it up, put it in there, close it up, and I put it in my waders in a zip pocket, and it stays there. Because I always hunt out of waders. I'm never dry field hunting. So that's what I do. It keeps it from bleeding and being where you can't even read it. It keeps the federal duck stamp good. Yeah, that's how I do it, and just makes me feel good, that it's in that and it's zipped away and I don't have to worry about losing it. But I am gonna walk up to the deal and I'm gonna be okay, license it, and I'm just gonna go like this. I'm gonna hold my phone up. I'm gonna see what happens. I'm just gonna try it. They'll probably be I still need to see it. Who knows? I don't know, but I'm going to try it. Because now I'm thinking, I wonder if they'll want to see your driver's license. I mean, I don't see why they would, because they don't do that with your regular stamp. I mean, with your regular license papers and all that stuff. So I don't know. We will see, but I am definitely going to test it out. And I'm also looking at the clock. And I guess I should just do it in this. I almost could break this up, but that's that. Now I want to go into shortly. I'm going to for sure, I got to keep this under about 8 minutes. But that's that. So guys, if you want a federal duck stamp and you want to have everything on your phone, I guess you could let me be the guinea pig for California and just see how it goes, and I can update you guys throughout the season if it's worked, or you can try it out. But that's what I did. The only one that's going to cost you extra is buying the e-stamp, federal duck e-stamp. That's the only one that's going to cost you more, because if you want to have both documents, paper and e, then you would have to buy basically an extra stamp, and from another state. So there's a big list of states that do it. Idaho, Nebraska, Texas, Washington. I think I don't know if they were on there, but there was probably 15 to 20 on there. So just go on that site, make an account, buy a stamp, and then screenshot it or save the receipt to your email. I heard they kind of wanted to do that too. But anyways, that's that. The next thing I wanted to tell you guys is it's finally here. I'm getting another pup. I'm excited, but I'm also sad, and I'm also not excited because training it. I'm excited because it's a new pup and there's huge potential. I'm getting him in November. It will be a black male. I'm getting him from Southern Oak Kennels, the main headquarters there in Mississippi, from Barton Ramsey's kennels right there. He's associated with several other ones, but that's the one I'm getting it from because I want it from Rio. So the stud is Rio. I can't remember what the female's name is. I want to say it's Lucy, but I could look it up real quick. It doesn't really matter. I mean, if you guys want to know, you could ask in the comments or something. I can let you know. But for time's sake, Rio isn't actually bad to the bone dog. It's a British lab. So Rocky is mixed with American lab and English lab. That's where he gets his size from. And I would say he's heavy on the English because he's huge. In the wintertime, his hair gets kind of curly on his back a little bit towards the tail end of him. Big tail, barrel chest. If any of you guys have seen Rocky in person, he's massive. He is huge. I almost feel sorry for him. He's so big, running through that water stuff. But he's a stud, and he's got a nose like a bloodhound, and he does what he needs to do. He gets the job done. I know I've said a few things like, oh, he doesn't come back fast enough, but it's like when I go out there and if he's ever not there and I'm coming back, the funny thing is I'm way slower than him. As slow as he looks like he's moving, coming back, I can't even walk that fast, and I'm tired. So it's just a stupid little bit of a nitpick thing. But anyways, he's going to be 7 in November 7th. He will turn 7. And I was going to do this last year, get another pup, but I was just like, I just didn't want to train, honestly. So that's why I said I'm excited for the potential of this dog, and his bloodline is crazy. Speed, but also calmness and being able to relax, steadiness, no whining. Like, there's so many things in this bloodline that are so good. And a British lab, I'm really stoked. I'm really stoked to have one myself, train him. I've been told by a few people that have him, not people that work at Southern Oak Kennels, but other people that have him, like, dude, they almost train themselves. So I'm obviously not going to just let him train himself. I'm going to train him, but I can't wait to see the response and how quick they learn, if it's any different. It's like, it was Rocky compared to Rocky. I love Rocky. He's my first dog. So I'm going to try not to like compare everything to Rocky, but timelines I will, just like how quick they pick up stuff like force fetch. Rocky hated that. That took like a couple weeks. Also, I didn't know what I was doing too. I was learning, right? So I've basically helped Nathaniel train his dog. So that's basically 2 dogs under my belt. This will be my 3rd. My friend Colton has one of Rocky's grandkids or whatever down the line, and he might be having me help him a little bit, so that's going to help me too. So all those things help, right? But I said excited, but that's why I'd be excited. I'm sad because I know Rocky, 3 years, he's probably not going to be going on a lot of hunts, and that's hard to even think about, right? We can't keep, I don't know why God made it for such a short lifespan on our pets and our dogs, our hunting dogs, but it's really sad. And I can get a little bit somber about it. I try not to think about it too much. But like we all know that, 3 years goes in the blink of an eye. It really does. And so it's like, man, I got to enjoy every second with him the next couple years more than I ever have, And I don't want to overdo Rocky. I feel like this year is still going to be a very, very good year. I don't think he's going to slow down much. I think it's next year I can maybe see, but I don't know. We'll see. It could be this year, but I don't think it will. I really don't. I think because Rocky's not so aggressive with what he does and how he runs and all this stuff, I think maybe it will help him last a little bit longer. I think when something goes harder, they break down quicker. Plus, I've been feeding Rocky Eukanuba for all but 1 year of his life, and that's full of glucosamine and chondroitin, which is big-time joints. And if you guys know me and seen on videos, I don't let Rocky jump out of the truck. I don't know how I trained him not to do that, which I'm glad I did. I think because when he was a pup, I always just lifted him down. And plus, he might be lazy. I don't know. But the next dog, I almost wonder if, I don't even know if I'll be able to keep him from doing that because they might just be higher strung, which is going to be hard for me because I do not like high strung. So I'm kind of wondering how I'm going to feel about this. But it sounds like they're pretty, they have good on and off switches. So we'll see. But I've always, even as big as Rocky is now, 90 pounds, I put my arm over top of one arm and he kind of goes and I kind of just gently set him down, if that makes sense. I don't pick him all the way up and drop him. It's just kind of like one motion. We've done it for so long. And I'm wondering if that's going to really help. I've basically tested it for the last 7 years, is to see if he won't get arthritis and stuff in his front shoulders. Because I think a big reason dogs get that is because they jump out trucks, boom, on their 2 front legs, right? And all that pressure on the shoulders. I could be wrong, but I've thought that. So I'm testing it. We'll see how Rocky does with arthritis and if he even gets it. So, but yeah, I put my deposit down 3 weeks ago. Me and Barton been talking for a year and a half or more, and I've been watching Southern Oak Kennels for 3 years, 4 years, probably, just social media, website, YouTube, and it's just I like those dogs. And from what it sounds like, basically, I thought Barton said you won't get a dog over 70 pounds, a male. So 65 to 70 pounds is max. 70 is big for them, these British Labs that he gets. So anyways, I am really excited about it. In a way, it's going to be interesting dealing with 2 dogs and having 2 dogs, feeding 2 dogs, training 2 dogs, working with 2 dogs. It's just gonna be a whole nother thing I haven't experienced yet, right? Because basically, I still want to hunt Rocky. This dog's gonna be, I'm picking him up in November. I'll be flying back there and flying to Mississippi and then coming back with him. I don't know if the same day. It'd be nice if I could just get a quick turnaround and not take vacation. But basically, I'm gonna go pick him up, meet and greet, maybe do a podcast with them. I don't know. We'll do some stuff, hang out, look around. Maybe actually, I'm gonna be video documenting all this too. So. Go back there. I don't know if I'll be able to make the pickup day because that's usually people will show up and do a pickup day with them. But go pick him up, new little buddy. And I got a name picked out already, but I'm not gonna say it now. I don't even know if you guys will like it. I like it. I don't know if my family will like it. They don't even know. I haven't even told Sarah or the girls, but I got it from basically military deal. So. Military movie I seen, and it was I heard it and I was instantly I knew right away. I was that is what I'm naming it. It's got to be led of the spirit, man. If that's what you feel, you got to do it. I just don't want the common name. So I feel like Rocky was such a good name and fit him perfectly, but had to think of another one, and it just hit me because I know when you get your first dog, it's someday you got to get your second one. So, anyways, got the name picked out. I'll share that with you when I first introduce you to the new pup, and like I said, I'll video document all that, and start all over again. And it's good to get him November, because I got Rocky in December, but he was really only like 6.5 weeks. So technically he wasn't 8 weeks till January. So I'm kind of like 2 months ahead, which is good because come duck season, the new pup will be like almost a year old. So Rocky was like 9.5 months. I would say that was a little early, but I feel like he was ready, and I feel like he did really well, honestly. But I think it would just be better to have him older, right? If you can make it happen, it's just better. So he'll be older than Rocky was by a couple months. And by that time next year, I don't know how I'm going to do that. I've thought of this already, and I'm going to end this right here because I'm going a hair longer than I said I would, but, I feel like with two of them, I don't know if I want to take Rocky on the new pup's first hunt next year, because I mean, there's two things it could be. You could get it could help steadiness for like Rocky if I sent the other one, or vice versa. So I might do that. I don't know. But then also I don't want to get a competitive thing. I mean, we'll train together in before season, so they're going to be used to working together and stuff, but I don't want to I don't know if on the first hunt if that's good or not. I might just, and it depends on the hunt too. I already know that. Like I want to set him up for success, because that first hunt is always such a big deal. And I learned from Rocky's first hunt, there's certain things you just don't want to do, and focus I got to have. So basically I got to focus. I got to put the gun down. I got to focus on him, the new pup. And I don't want to go with 4 or 5 guys. I do want a lot of exposure over the first few weeks, but I also don't want chaos. It'd be nice just singles, right? Boom. Okay, boom. There's a single. Boom, go. And it would probably, I would say, just me and Thomas trying to make it that way and just not go with a bunch of people. So maybe if it's not opening day, maybe it's a week later. That's fine. Like that's okay. It doesn't have to be. I could take Rocky on the very first hunt, and the new pup could wait a week or 2 later. It doesn't have to go on opening day when there is a lot of chaos. So anyways, that's just a quick tidbit, little sneak peek of what's going on. I hope you guys like him. I hope you fall in love with him like you guys have with Rocky, and I hope they make a good duo while they can work together. And I can't wait to see Rocky teach him and show him the way, and show him how to search for birds and just charge for the bird. It's going to add a whole nother dynamic to my videos, and I'm really excited about sharing those. So thanks for listening, guys. I hope you enjoy this one. I feel like my brain was a little bit foggy in this one as far as with the stamp thing. Sorry about that. If that drives you guys nuts, I apologize. It did kind of throw me off track. Like once I started talking through it, I started realizing like, wait a minute, those stamps aren't federal stamps. So had to pull those out. But hope you guys enjoy this. I hope this podcast helps you guys. If it does, please go on. I guess I found out that what really bumps your podcast up in the rankings, and that's what I'm trying to do, is get it up in the rankings in the top, is when you subscribe. So like if you subscribe or follow on Spotify, or you subscribe on Apple Podcast, because Apple Podcast says subscribe, Spotify says follow. When you do that, instead of just going there, if you guys can do me a favor, do that. That's what moves it up in the rankings, and the comments, and the 5 stars. So if you guys can do that, I really appreciate it. It would help me out. I don't ask enough, but man, I would. If you guys don't, please, it's super easy. Please do that. It really means a lot to me, and for the efforts I put in, try to put out the content for you. Got more on the way, and thank you guys again for all your support. And it's duck season, boys. It is almost there. We are almost there. Some of you are already hitting it hard. Let's get it. I'll see you guys on the next one.